Step in the box, sports cards fans. Welcome back to another episode of Batter Up with Brett John. What's up on this Friday night, John?
Nothing much. It is May in Indiana. You know what that means? It is my favorite month of the year. It is race month. But before race month got started, we had Caitlin Clark's very first home game last night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Sold out crowd, and she almost got a triple-double, and wow, the hype around Caitlin Clark is real. But how are you doing on this Friday night? Trying to get back to regular
I'm doing
schedule?
good. I wish I was opening a whole bunch of Bowman, but I'm not. Let's start with some Bowman, man. 2024 Bowman.
Yeah.
I had a chance to open up some. I know you haven't. Opened up 12 blaster boxes. I love the design. I think it looks good. There's some the good, the bad, and the ugly. I just still think, coming down to it, the price point just doesn't make sense.
Uh-oh. Brett's muted. Brett's got no audio, or at least I can't hear him. And it's just me. Well, there you go. There you go, folks. There's your show. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. We got a lot of topics. Before Brett jumps back on and gets back with us, I want to talk about the print run. I did run the numbers. I didn't make a video yet, but I will soon if nobody else has made one yet for hobby and retail. But anyway, from the numbers, I was able to calculate, I believe, 111,000 hobby boxes. I think we've got about 55,000 jumbo boxes. We've got 25,000 and some change HTA breaker boxes. And Brett is back. Let me add him to the stage. All right. I was going over the print run for Bowman while you were away. Blasters, about 700,000 blasters exist. And retail boxes, they had the odds on the website, about 67,000 retail boxes, give or take. One thing I couldn't find was the odds for the actual mega boxes yet, but I think last year they were around, I forget, like 300,000 mega boxes. So it's probably something similar to that this year. And anyway, one of the staggering things about Bowman, as we are getting Brett back in the live, hopefully he's got audio back. The total print run, when you add it all together for the sales dollars to Fanatics, is well over $100 million based on the current price point. So when we lost Brett, we were talking about the reason why he wasn't going to open more Bowman was because the price point was too high. Well, $100 million too high to be exact. So yeah, 700,000 blasters. Yikes. That is 100% true. 697,000 blasters to be exact. Anyway, Brett, you're back, right?
I'm back. Lost the volume after that call, but to go along with the print run, I'm not so worried about the print run. They've made it it's been staying fairly level in the last couple of years at least. But Fanatics, aka Topps, is trying to make Bowman this premier product. I wouldn't even say it's a mid-tier product. It's a flagship product, and yeah, it's got some chrome cards in it. And don't get me wrong, there are some monster autos in alor, but they print just as much of this stuff as they do Series 1. It's always been. If people are just getting into it, Bowman is like a Series 1. It's printed. It's always been printed a lot. It's not like Bowman Draft. This is always printed a lot. And I would open up some more of this because you can still pull some cool stuff. It's a great open. I enjoyed opening those 12 boxes, 14 hits and 12 boxes. But it just costs too much money.
Yeah, I agree. I think the hobby boxes and the jumbos, which is crazy that, the jumbos get bought by the breakers because the breakers are the ones that are going to, people aren't buying that for personal rips unless you bought a box on pre-sale like Neo Cards and Comics or Striker. But I would say if you are buying Bowman, buy the retail. It's the way to go. They put enough hits in there. Maybe they don't have as many autos. Maybe they're more paper autos, but the retail is probably the way to go. Based on what I could see from the print run, the number of cards that you're getting that are numbered and autoed out of a hobby box is about 3 for the single auto hobby box and about 6 for the jumbo, including the 3 autos. So the blasters, to get 14 hits like you did out of 12 blasters, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, I've watched multiple retail breaks, and you're not getting monster stuff coming out of there, but lots of color, and again, it's affordable. And less, I would still like to see those at $25 or less than $29.99. But I'm telling you, at the end of the year, this stuff's going to be around everywhere, like it was this year. And this year's class is nowhere near the last couple of years. There's just way less firsts.
It doesn't seem like right now there's a player that's on the cusp of making the big leagues like you had when Jackson Chorio and Ellie headlined the 2022 product with 86 firsts of hitters. And it just seemed like you couldn't miss. And you had a very, very rich top 10 or top 100 prospect list of guys from that exact product. And I don't see it right. I know they have to come out with this year's version. So there's a lot of guys on that list right now from last year that are still, they're still on there, but they're in the league by now. You've still got like guys like Colton Cowser and Chorio and obviously Jackson Holiday got up but then went right back down. But I would say I agree with you. There really shouldn't be as much hype around this product because there aren't many guys that are right on the cusp of being in the big leagues or at the top of the very, very top of the top 100 prospect list in this product. And the thing I made a video about a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago now, talking about Bowman, how I wasn't going to buy any. I'm not going to buy any because I'm just going to wait. I didn't say I would never buy it. I didn't say I hated it. I didn't say I would never, ever buy a Bowman product in my life again. I just didn't want to buy it right now because I didn't feel like it was value for the money for $30 a blaster when we saw what happened with last year's product. You get towards Thanksgiving and it goes down to $22, $24 a box. Why don't you just wait? I know the singles aren't going to sell for as much, but if you want to hold it, you should just wait. You don't need to rush in. But K Card said he pulled 3 autos out of 3 blasters. I mean, that's great. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I don't have a fear of missing out on this product. I'm just gonna wait it out.
This is just not a. It isn't at the price point that you just want to bulk open. You know, if you're gonna buy a couple blaster boxes for, $29.99, it's fine, right? Like I might do that even. I ordered a couple Bowman Megas, just to order a couple, even though they're $45. But I'm not ordering 50 of them. Not ordering 100 of them like I used to. It's just a stupid. And this is even with the bounty, the Dylan Cruz bounty, a 101 superfractor of 200K by David Adams. That's a pretty cool little bounty. I like those spotlight cards too. There's a lot to like about this program, this product. I like the anime cards. They look nice. I've been watching lots of breaks and especially recaps, and man, there's some nice color coming out of Jumbo and Hobby as well, but it just, dude, $550 to $600 for Jumbos, that's insane.
Yeah, it really is. Unless you hit something big, you're going to get totally slaughtered on that. I mean, that's becoming more like a Prism hobby box. That's $600 a box for 3 autos. I know they're on card. I know that's a prospect. I know you can have big cards, but think about it. When we scoffed at Panini for the $1,000 Prism hobby box with 2 autos, and we said, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Well, who would pay that, right? At least you can go to Topps and you don't have to pay that. Well, gone are the days of $350 hobby boxes for Jumbos. $500 to $600, $800 is where we're headed. And I don't think you can't really blame inflation on that. You can just blame the market for buying it and blame people for buying into breaks. But eventually, and we'll get to this in a bit, but we had a topic I'm going to talk about with regards to Sports Card Radio visiting Burbank Sports Cards. And he made a good, interesting, insightful comment when Rob was on the Sports Card Radio podcast last night. And he said, I see guys all the time that bought into a break. They've got their stack of Cleveland Guardians cards or you know, they're the team that they bought, and, you know, they spent $1,000 on this break and they're going to get their $40. And he's like, that's all I can give them. And he's like, eventually the people will get sick and tired of being burned that much, and they're just not going to put any more money in the pig. So that is the sad truth. But again, I blame Geoff. Yeah, that is funny. If you haven't heard the new intro on that, by the way, go listen to that Sports Card Radio Thursday night show with the intro. Now that it's set to country music with the ruin the hobby that I love, it is hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I think they should actually put it on iTunes. It's that good.
Those guys are pretty funny.
But yeah, as far as wrapping up on Bowman, when Topps wanted to make it a non-flagship product, a premium product, when you're trying to get $100 million in sales from this product, I don't know where it used to be, but it probably on the order of 30 to 40 to $50 million, maybe call it 30 to 50. We've doubled that. And then we're never going to stop making more of it. That's the thing. I'll say we, but they will never decrease the print run unless people just don't buy it. They will continue to pump marketing dollars in to cover that differentiation between what they're selling and what they're trying to get for it and what people are buying, and they have point of sale. They're going to keep pumping it up more and more and more. It's just never going to end until people stop buying. But
yeah.
Again,
it's slowing down for sure. It's definitely slowing down. I got 2 points to finish up with Bowman. One, sooner or later, I believe the shelf life of these breaks is going to come to a quick end this year. I think after these first couple weeks, you're going to see very little breaking because dude, people just can't keep spending that kind of money. These breaks are insane for case prices. And another thing that I have is I opened those 12 blasters, and then I sat down on Sunday and I was going to put together a PSA order. And I looked over about 10 cards that I was going to send. Zero. You know, fans keep saying and Topps keep saying they're going to improve quality. There was 0 cards that I felt comfortable sending in. So I didn't send them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the other thing, right? You've got to have good attention to detail. Like we've said last year, we said that would be something we'd be on the watch out for. And I think as well, right now, when it comes to what specials PSA is running or SGC or wherever that you want to send your cards, if you can't grade the cards, and the grading of the cards was the way out of maybe a deficit on the box opening, then eventually you're going to run out of money. And I myself have a card account that's only for cards. If I ran it to 0, I couldn't buy any more cards until I sell cards. I will never spend another dollar of my own money that I haven't already accrued in that card account. And I've spent a decent amount of money over the last 2 years, probably on other stuff that then ended up in the card account. Fair enough. But I'm not going to put any new money in there. So people like me, there's probably a fair number of those people in the hobby who will only survive on a budget. And for me, if I sell a lot and I grade a lot and I sell a lot and I do really well, I sell into hype or whatever, then I'll have more money. Maybe I buy some Bowman. Maybe I'll buy some Series 2 or some other product. But if I have a lean card account, I'm not going to buy any product because I just don't want to spend any more new money until I'm back in a position with the account balance where I feel like I can do that. And I can take a gamble and have some fun. And even if it goes to 0, big deal, right? So somebody commented on my video and said, do as you will, son. Now, I assume they assumed they were older than me. Hope they were. Maybe they were. but basically criticizing the fact that I said I wasn't going to buy it. That said, you should just be buying it for the sheer love of opening. Obviously, you're not buying it for that. So, kind of like screw you. That can be true, but you also don't want to feel like you're getting ripped off. And
exactly.
I would wait to buy the product for the sheer love of opening rather than buy it right now for the higher price. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Kind of leading to the segue here, Mellow Cards in a second ago said, I'm waiting for Series 2, which kind of leads into my next thing. Paul Skeens is called up for the Pirates, and he's going to face my Cubbies tomorrow. I'm looking forward to watching that game. But Series 2, Chrome, update. When you start looking at the some of the guys that could be in some of these products coming up later this year, that's why I don't want to invest in Bowman too much either. Not with just the price, but it's the future. You're better off saving your money. I mean, we had Series 1, a pretty good rookie class with Ellie De La Cruz having a great start to the season. Dominguez hasn't even played yet. Evan Carter, Curtis Mead. But I mean, Churio got called up. Holiday got called up. Skeens now getting called up. Shoto, my boy from the Cubs, what a year he's having. Yamamoto for the Dodgers.
Yep.
Wyatt Langford called up. There's more dudes coming. It's only, what is today, May 10th? This is May 10th. There are more dudes coming before June. Ellie De La Cruz came up, I think, that first week of June, and he didn't get in, and they saved him.
It was June 6th last year. I think they came up right around the first week of June. It was definitely after Memorial Day. And I would say both the Chrome and the Chrome Update products should be good this year, and even the Update flagship. But I don't think there's any way Jackson Holiday ends up in Series 2.
No, he can't. He already has rookie card on Topps website.
But they're sure as heck going to not take him out of the chance to be an Update. I would hope not.
No, he's going to be. I think he's going to be the face of Update. And dude, look, Update just for all these guys are going to have, debut rookie cards in that product. There's going to be so many debut rookie cards, plus some other guys. Yeah, it's going to be, that product could be monstrous.
It should be. And I think they screwed up Chrome the last time because it was too high of a price point, and then the year before it was the quality control issues. So they've never gotten Chrome right in Chrome Update in the last couple of years. It's never been right.
No,
but maybe they get a chance. And then the Sapphire was the thing to own. And so I would definitely chase that. I would chase the Logo Fractor again if the price was right. I think Stu said that he thought it would be about $150 a box. I don't know that they'll go that high when you have to buy it through the MLB store again. I think it might be higher than 65 that it was last year. It might be closer to like $80 a box or 100. But even then, it's if they make the same amount of it, it's probably worth owning for given the depth of what you're going to potentially get in the checklist. So, and keep in mind, they usually have a smaller checklist in Logo Fractor than they do regular Chrome. It's only 110 cards. And so if you get all of that in there, that's going to be a loaded product and if they don't make a lot more of it than they did last year, that's the product to own.
Yeah.
But again, there's always a bull market somewhere. You're going to be able to find the product that people want, the cards of the rookies that everybody loves. But you don't have to chase the paper products all the time. And Bowman right now seems like a little bit of a distraction to keep you occupied between releases, but I would just say be patient. Patience will pay off. I may not be buying any Bowman, but if the price is right on Chrome or the print runs are right on Chrome and the checklist is good, you better believe I'm going to buy that on pre-release. Absolutely, I will.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's why I'm really trying to take my time here. I want to open stuff, but it's like I'm trying to get rid of my past habits to get ready for some good products because I'm not saying Bowman is bad. It's just there's some loaded products that are going to be coming. They're going to be expensive too, but we'll see. But I got a couple more baseball topics, kind of off the beaten path, but I thought they were worth talking about. Did you see the guy who was at the Phillies game and he pulled the 101
Dominguez?
Platinum Jason Dominguez at the Phillies game and he had no sleeve and no
Yeah,
top loader? Did you see that?
I did. I saw the still image of that. That's classic. Classic. It's like the Ellie I pulled in the parking lot with you at a Target, the Mojo Auto first. And I was going on vacation. So I had to put that back in the box. And it stayed with me on vacation in my backpack the whole time until I got home. And then it finally went in a top loader. And then I got it sent in and I got a 10 on it. Amazing. I couldn't
That's
believe it.
hilarious. So that was one of the things that I saw this week that was pretty cool in my opinion. And then we go to the total opposite of that. Memory Lane Auctions sent 54 vintage cards, rare post-war cards, to a hotel near Cleveland for a card show. It was worth somewhere around $2 million worth of cards. FedEx dropped the cards off at the front desk and they all went missing.
Oh, wow.
$2 million worth of cards. How insane is that?
That's crazy. I mean, I've had stuff recently get lost in the post office or get put in post office purgatory, as I call it. I sent somebody a Connor Daly Harlan hardware card. They paid decent money for it. They still don't have the card. And it's frustrating because I shipped it and I just thought when 30 days is up, I can file a claim with eBay and hopefully be made whole on both of us. I do have another copy. I don't want to say gift them it, but it's always a tricky situation, right? You want to do the right thing. You want to do what's right for your customer. But that one, the one that you mentioned about the hotel, that one seems a little bit more suspect that somebody stole the cards.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? You're like, I guess they have a lead from the camera, but it'll be tough to get those back.
Yeah.
But because I know a lot of these guys and companies that they ship their stuff, to where they're going to be to pick up, and you think that's safe. And it got me thinking today. I was like, man, I have my PSA orders dropped off at Walgreens.
I
so
do
I could
too.
sign
Yeah.
for them there because I'm never home during the day. So it's like, if I'm going to get them, at least I'm going to sign. And I've had a great experience with that. They're always back. But then I'm like, stuff could get stolen from Walgreens too,
Most of the time, I would say when I go in there, they don't even know what they have.
No.
They're like, oh, you need to sign for a card. Oh, what is it? And then I tell them which one. I could see it behind the counter. I'm like, it's that envelope. You see the envelope, the little, like what looks like a cello pack with bubble wrap. It's that one. And they're like, are you sure? I said, look at it. I'm pretty sure that's it. And they're like, oh, what do you know? You're right. I was like, you don't even know what's in there, do you?
No, I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, it usually comes in this kind of package. Oh, it's on the shelf. That's funny. One other thing while I was thinking about it, I don't know who it was in the chat, said there's tons of Bowman sitting on the shelf, but there is no optic football. Let me tell you what, retail optic football is just gone immediately when it hits.
Yeah.
I would love to get some of that stuff to open, but I went by Meyer yesterday. I have a video of it that I didn't put up today, but the place for optic football where all the blasters were, they were all gone, and there wasn't one Bowman blaster box touched. I don't think any product sold. There was even select basketball, which it is Meyer. It's $5 more for the megas. They were all sitting there. And actually, we talked about that last one. That's a good product. But man, this optic football is hot as can be.
Yeah. You had a rumor that the mega boxes would be up on Target. I still haven't seen those. I don't think they have been up there. I haven't seen it, but
I don't think they were. My boy Eddie, if he's in the chat or if he's watching later, he said today he hadn't seen them either from his Discord group. I'm not on Discord, so I kind of rely on other people, but I would like to open some of that product. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I missed out on that last year. I don't think I got any of it, but then eventually they had the Fanatics product that dropped, what used to be the Fanatics exclusive, but now I think they call it the Hobby Blaster. That's another one we'll probably see on the Panini website. But yeah, I am. I have some coming. I'm waiting for a couple blasters, but I did grab a couple last Friday on the drop.
Okay, I got one more thing. I mean, I got more, but I got one thing that I thought was cool. For as much things I get annoyed with Topps, aka Fanatics, I think this is pretty cool. I wish they did this with other sports too. Did you see? I'm gonna put a link in the chat. Did you guys see this soccer interactive, the Grail, where there's these soccer products, and I don't even know what soccer products in because it doesn't say on the website. It says the Grail is the ultimate interactive collecting experience. Begin your quest to the start of the 23-24 soccer season and hunt for 9 ultra rare Grail cards. They almost look like the mosaic cards, and they're of the big players, Messi, and so they have this prize, this leaderboard. They have like a redemption, and you redeem them, and it tracks it looks like there's a couple people. I don't know if this is an example or the real thing that have card number 6, and you can see who has them. Mm-hmm. And the first person to get all 9 of them wins a prize. And then 2 through 6 also wins something. I thought that was a really, really cool thing to do. And I would like to know more about it, but I think they should do that for like the Bowman inserts. First person to get 9 Bowman inserts, mail them in. We're going to send you something cool.
I guess that's one of the things that Rob brought up during the live stream with Sports Card Radio last night, talking about ways, while the buyback credit is great, it doesn't encourage collecting. It encourages people to rip, trade, and rip, and trade and rip, and trade and rip. It doesn't encourage collecting. And what you just mentioned is more of and maybe that's where they got the idea. Because Rob said he had multiple people from Fanatics in, and they're like, what can we do to increase the velocity of product releases being sold, as well as do what's right for the hobbyists? And he said, have them collect complete sets of something that they can either get credit for, have a registry, or something that it's a mission to get the full completed set. And that's going to be worth something. And so maybe that's where they got the idea. I don't know. It's interesting that you mentioned that now that I think of it.
Yeah, that dude, if you get a chance, I put the link in the chat. You should see these cards. They look really cool. There was a video of them somewhere, and I just ran across. You know what? I'm doing a better job the last month of when I see something during the week, I'm taking notes on my phone. So when I come up to a Friday night, like tonight, we're like, hey, we're going to do a show. I actually remembered what I saw instead of having to go like, what did I see in the last week? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens, man, in the hobby.
I call it an industry too. I try to not always call it a hobby because it is an industry.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
I mean, when you're getting $100 million in sales for a retail product, one retail product, that's an industry, not a hobby.
Yeah.
For somebody.
Dude, we knew when Fanatics took over Topps that things were going to change, and boy, have they. I mean.
Yeah. I would say this. When it increases interest in cards in general, even if you're not ripping the product, you can still enjoy cards. You can still enjoy buying your favorite players, collecting your favorite teams, collecting complete sets, master sets, et cetera, et cetera. If it showed us anything in the last couple of weeks, I don't know if you want to segue to any other topics, but we were going to talk about Anthony Edwards.
That was my next one.
Yeah, so what happened with his market and K Cards, you're right in the middle of it. Maybe they'll win game 3. Maybe they won't. I don't know what's going to happen in that series, but Anthony Edwards looks absolutely fantastic. And I brought a prop with me. It's a cracked ice Flux out of the complete set, Anthony Edwards. Still have it. Didn't grade it. But if you are a hobbyist or you are a speculator, you didn't have to rip any product. This came about before Fanatics even bought the industry, more or less. And Anthony Edwards has made 2020, 2021 retail product, hobby product, all the stuff that everybody said was way overprinted, and none of it would have any value. One player winning 2 games in round 2 of the playoffs caused one of the most insane spikes that I've ever seen since the pandemic. And if that can happen, you don't need Fanatics to pump the market. You don't need any of that. But the more people that are interested in cards, maybe they'll be interested in buying players that existed way before Fanatics was even around.
It's crazy, man. His base PSA 10 Prism rookie was selling for like $90 to $100 on early April. And right now that card sold on bids for $430 today. These are PSA 10s. They had been selling around $350. So they've tripled in price in 1 month. And it could go higher if they win this series. Now,
if we only had a time machine, right? We would go back to the National last year and we would have bought up every single Anthony Edwards card in a case in the entire place.
And just held it. Yeah. His stuff was cheap.
Held it till this week.
I'd have called up my bulk guy. Dude, I need you over here ASAP. I will give you these all for 75% of comps. Come and buy them all.
I don't have any graded Anthony Edwards. I actually had a few that were 9s and I sold them in the last week and I made money on them because they were 9s and I made money on 9s and I was happy with that. Did I make the most? No. But now I collated all of them into one box and I've got like 40 Anthony Edwards rookies from Select and Hoops and Chronicles and Donruss and Optic and Mosaic and Prism and Flux, like every product that came out. I've got multiples of Anthony Edwards, and I don't think I'm going to sell those. Should I grade them? If you guys haven't watched my rip of the complete set of Optic, I don't know if you guys are all channel members of mine or channel goers of mine, but I had a video made about Anthony Edwards Goes to the Moon. Quite literally, and I was going to chase Anthony Edwards. Well, I opened my complete set of Optic that I've had on the shelf for 3 years, and out of the special pack, I pulled an Anthony Edwards Purple Pulsar, and it shocked me. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I couldn't believe it. Now I sent that one to get graded because I'm not stupid. It looked perfect, and I had a grading order to send off anyway, so I tacked it on to the end of it. But I might keep that one. I don't know. He might be out of the playoffs by the time I get it back. But Anthony Edwards is great. He's going to be great for a long, long time. He's going to be a superstar. Many people say he looks like Jordan reincarnated. Well, he does. He's got the right physical size. He's 6'5". He's got all the attributes. He's flashy. He says all the right things. He's absolutely perfect for an explosion in popularity if the Timberwolves can keep that team together, because they almost blew that team up. Hard to believe. They almost blew that team up with I think it was Derek Jeter, right? Or A-Rod. One of the guys was going to buy that team and blow it up. Well, just make sure he stays. Heck, you know what? Blow the team up and he can go to the Kings. And then he and Fox will team up.
Send him to the Bulls, man. Please send him to the Bulls.
That's my hope, right? It's the only way that the hobby will ever care about De'Aaron Fox is if he has another superstar on his team. It's sad.
I would love a superstar with the Bulls. I'm sick of the Bulls being just good enough to be like talked about, like, oh, they might make the playoffs, and they just suck. But anyway,
it was great to see that somebody from a draft class from years ago, when it was an overprinted product that everybody hated, one player can all of a sudden see an absolute explosion in popularity out of that product. And that was great to see. But don't get caught in the hype either. Because I am pretty sure that if they get bounced, I am overstating the obvious. Those prices are going to come crashing right back down to where they were.
Oh, dude, I know somebody has a bunch of Anthony Edwards stuff, and I said, sell. And if you love it that much, you can just go buy it back in a couple months for half of what you sold it for and get it all back. Unless he wins a ring, and then you might not. But hey, we'll loop around here. Did you get on Netflix and watch the Tom Brady roast?
I haven't watched it yet. No,
dude.
I saw clips of it. I heard it was pretty good.
I wish I would have watched it the first night when it was live. I just didn't have the time, and I pulled it up last night and I watched it and I laughed, and there was so many funny comments. I think he got $25 million to do it.
Oh, really?
And he had a quote, something like, "Why wouldn't I do it? They're gonna roast my ex-wife for cheating on me with the karate guy." And oh my God, dude, it was great. Bill Belichick was on there. You know, it was really good. I thought Gronk was awesome. Ben Affleck was terrible. I thought he was terrible.
Maybe he was drunk.
Dude,
Maybe he was drunk.
They were really, really good. There was a lot of funny stuff. If you like that dark kind of humor stuff, and it's a good watch. If you like any of the other roasts, that's probably one of the best ones I've seen outside of Justin Bieber. I thought the Justin Bieber one was great too.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out this weekend if I get around to it. 16.4 seconds left in the Pacer game. They just hit a 3. They're up 3 with 16 seconds left. So I think this is live. I don't know if the game's over already, but I'm watching on my League Pass, and I see 16 seconds left, not to interject. But I wanted to talk a little bit, in addition to Ant-Man, about the rest of the players in the card market that are in the playoffs, and whether or not supporting cast members who play integral roles in a championship run for a team can ever have any relevancy other than just an also-ran. You go back to the Warriors dynasty when they had Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. There were other guys on that team that won championships, multiples up front. You get Andrew Bogut, you had David Lee, you had other guys, Andre Iguodala. Does the hobby market ever care about any of those other players? So you go down the list of players from teams this year that would be kind of considered extra guys, right? Nickeil Walker-Alexander, a great player coming off the bench when Anthony Edwards is getting all the hype. You've got guys like Jaden McDaniels, a great defender. I think he starts for them. You've got Chet Holmgren. Obviously, Chet's Chet. What do you consider him, a star? I don't know. Jalen Williams, same thing. The guy from OKC. You've obviously got Kyrie and Luka, superstars for the Dallas Mavericks. But then you've got supporting cast members of like Derek Lively or THJ. And you can just go down that list. And even on the Pacers, you got Halliburton highlighting the team, but you got Aaron Naismith, who's an impactful defensive player, or Andrew Nembhard, same thing. Obi Toppin coming off the bench, playing really big minutes. Dante DiVincenzo for the Knicks, when all the credit goes to Jalen Brunson. I don't want to say the hobby because maybe that's a little too broad, but do players from a team like that, when you go and you're a Knicks fan, or let's say, or you're a Bulls fan, and you want to collect Bulls cards. If that team wins a championship and one of those lesser known guys help them get there, would you be interested in owning a piece of that player's card history? Or would you just say, I just want the superstar and nobody else?
I think if you're a fan of the team, you're buying some of that stuff. But I just go back to the 90s Bulls with Pippen and Rodman. Pippen and Rodman have become semi-collectible and they're characters, but they're not worth a ton of value. They are worth something. But I just think I think with those role players, it's going to take championships and down the line, people when they get older, like with those Warriors teams, when Steph Curry retires and they do a documentary, some of those other guys are on the team. They'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that dude, and they'll buy some cards, but their value won't be monstrous, but they're the role players who are really good players. They just kind of get lost in the shuffle. Sports cards are about the monster stat lines, this flashy studs, and again, that hobby hype, like it is hard to get that hobby hype.
Yeah.
It just, Jackson Holiday is going to get a chance to go back and do it. And if he plays well, it's going to go up. But like, if some no name comes out and has a monster time, they're going to have to do it for a while, Like if LaMelo Ball came out and was just a stud next year, his hype would go back up pretty quick, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree. I don't think you can ever give up on a player if they're injured or they're on the wrong team. You eventually would say they're probably going to have their day in the sun. They're not going to be irrelevant their entire career. Will they have their downs? Sure. But then you go guys like Kyrie Irving. When he was on the Celtics, there was a lot of hype going in when he went to the Celtics with Gordon Hayward, and then they really didn't do anything. And then he went to the Nets with KD, and they didn't really do anything. And then you had COVID, and he didn't play, and all that stuff. But then he went to Dallas, and now he's really good again.
Yeah.
And he's an impactful player with Luka, and you never know what can happen. I mean, they got past the Clippers, which many may say that's not much. But they won last night against the Thunder. You just never know what can happen. Kyrie is a gamer when it comes to clutch play down the stretch of big games. He proved it when he won the championship or helped win the championship for the Cavs against the Warriors. And I still think he has that in him. And so guys like that, or guys like LaMelo Ball, don't ever give up on them. If they still are playing, they're still grinding, they may have their day in the sun again. Look at Jimmy Butler last year. Many people said when Jimmy Butler left the 76ers or he left the Bulls or he left the T-Wolves or whatever, he was never going to get that chance. He got that chance eventually. He had his day in the sun. He didn't win it, but he had his day in the sun. And by the way, the Pacers won by 5. They won. So that series is 2-1. Tyrese Halliburton had a great game, 35 points, 7 assists, 2 steals. Pretty good game from him. Another guy getting a lot of hobby love. I wish I could have pulled a purple of him in that Pulsar as well. And Ant-Man and a Halliburton in the same pack would have been amazing. But I'm going to have to settle for the Desmond Bane and the Ant-Man in the same pack, literally in back-to-back cards. So there's another guy, Desmond Bane for the Memphis Grizzlies when Ja Morant is out and that team's in total disarray right now. You just never know. You just never know. Anyway, crazy. I think we beat that topic to death. We covered what I wanted. You can buy the supporting cast if you're a fan of the team or you want to be nostalgic about a certain play they made to get their team over the hump in a big game, but that's probably going to happen much later in their career.
One of the few things I have left on my list is I was looking at some stats the other day and how lucky the Dodgers are right now. If you're a Dodgers fan, you are so lucky. You are seeing something that's just incredible. I mean, you got Mookie Betts, who's batting .346, 6 bombs. His WAR is 3.2. You have Shohei Ohtani, who's batting .355, 11 bombs. He's got a 2.5 WAR. He's not even pitching this year. And when he pitches next year, it's going to be even better. How awesome is to have those caliber players on your team to be able to watch every day is incredible. I wish the Cubs have owners like the Dodgers because they're willing to spend the money to sign studs. And those two are studs.
They are. I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan, while you should appreciate what you have, you can also be disappointed if your team doesn't win the championship every year.
Yeah.
but you should still appreciate what you have. It's kind of like the Colts when they had Peyton Manning. I don't know how many times there was a great season that was totally wasted by the first round playoff exit or the second round playoff exit. And they only got one championship and 2 Super Bowl appearances in the entire career of Peyton Manning. As good as he was and as great as he was to watch, when I first moved to Indiana, I was glued to the TV to watch Peyton Manning play. And when he left the Colts to go to the Broncos, it was a sad day, but I knew it had to happen. And if you were a Dodger fan, you really, really want to see your team succeed this year, because this is the year. This is the time when you have Ohtani and Betts and a good pitching staff on the same team together. If there were ever a time for it to happen, now is that. Because
Man,
I couldn't imagine that team having another playoff exit when they're expected to win it all. It would grow in frustration.
That's the thing that's so tough in baseball, because it is the true team sport. Even 2 guys that are that good, if you face a buzzsaw of a pitching staff, and they go, even if they go 3 for 3, you might still lose 4 for 4, you still lose the game because the other pitcher just shut everybody down, or your pitcher gives up a bunch. Baseball is that true. You got to have pitching, bullpen, and defense, and that's where I get frustrated with my Cubbies. They didn't address the bullpen, and the Cubs bullpen has dropped a bunch of games already, and they're decent. But that's why I like baseball, because every year, if you want to be competitive, you can be competitive. You just have to spend some money to get some guys in each of those areas. And look at the A's. The A's are not good by any means, but they've been a surprise. They've won more games than people thought they would. Now they've kind of dropped off the last week, but I mean, there's not that much a difference between those mid-pack teams. It's just, you need some hitters, and especially defensive pitching. I think that's where the Cardinals have gone wrong. The Cardinals, their pen and their 20-year run, 30-year run of pitchers has kind of come to an end, and they have not been. People have been scoring runs against them. I mean, they got some good hitters, and they signed Wilson Contreras, who just took a piece of lumber to his arm and hacked it off. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Dude, Wilson Contreras is not a good catcher. I said that long before. We can go get clips.
You know what? I did. You said he took a piece of lumber. Yeah, that was a somebody who, forget who it was, but when they were hitting, they hit him in the hand, right? Or the forearm.
I think it was JD Martinez. So what I think it was, but they have moved him up in the box catching. Man, he was so close. And dude, I've never seen a catcher. I've seen a catcher get hit on the glove, and I was a catcher. I've been hit on the glove and the hand. I've never seen a catcher literally have his forearm shattered. Dude, it was bad. It was loud.
Ouch. That sounds painful.
That was a crazy story. Don says, from a Cards fan, we suck. We cannot develop talent at all, which is totally opposite of what the Cardinals used to do. Pitching, they just throw in another guy, next man up. It's weird how it happens real fast, but
I think farm systems over time occasionally get depleted, or you just have bad draft classes, or you make some trades and you trade away some prospects, and the next thing you know, it catches up to you. And so as a GM, you constantly have to find the way to keep developing talent, keep it around if you want to. Like the Brewers did this year. They got rid of a few guys. They got rid of Counsell. They gave him to the Cubbies. They didn't re-sign him to a long-term deal. And they really, at this point in the season, look like even losing Corbin Burns, they're right where they left off.
Dude.
Even though they got a different manager, because they had a really good farm system with a lot of young talent ready to go to the big leagues.
I believe the Brewers and the Rays are some of the best run teams in the league. They don't have a big budget. They spend some money, but not a ton, and they do a great job developing talent and staying competitive. And they will go out occasionally and get a player, if they and sign some guys for a little bit of money and address some issues. But like in the past with the MLB, the most frustrating part is fans. But in my opinion, it's just unacceptable. Even what the Orioles did. I mean, Orioles fans right now are like, yeah, this is awesome. But man, those years of doing nothing and losing and doing nothing, it's like, look at the White Sox. The White Sox had a chance to like be really good and spend some money, and they didn't. And they're back to being the worst team in baseball. And that's disheartening. I almost feel a little bad for White Sox fans, but then again, I'm a Cubs fan. I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I think when you look at certain markets and they're in a big market, they could do everything right because they're in a big market, and then they struggle because they just don't have a good team, a good system in place. Same thing can be said for the Angels. You got the Dodgers on the one side of the fence, and they're always a contender. And then you got the Angels on the other side of the city, and they are a total train wreck every single year. We talked about Mike Trout getting hurt, I think, last show, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And it's a shame to see Mike Trout and De'Aaron Fox may have very similar careers. Great statistical guys. Maybe not. Fox won't win MVPs like Trout did, but they may never win playoff games in their career.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to see. You hope that everybody gets a chance to be in the sun at least once in their career. But I still think even for Trout, that might happen still. He might either catch on somewhere a little bit older. Maybe he'll sign for a league minimum type deal. You just never know. He's a family guy. He's got I think one kid, second one on the way. Building golf courses now with Tiger Woods. I saw that today. I didn't realize that he was doing that. But he is, maybe he'll end up on the Phillies someday or something like that near his hometown and tack on a championship run at the tail end of his career. You'd like to see that.
Yeah, it would be cool to see that. But what else you got?
I got one more topic. We let off with it, but Caitlin Clark. I want to talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark, she is still the talk of the town here in Indiana, even though the Pacers are in the playoffs and they won tonight. It's all people are talking about is Caitlin Clark this, Caitlin Clark that. It was great to see a sellout last night for a preseason game. And she's doing everything right. And Brett and I were having a little bit of a debate. We said this a couple weeks ago. Brett contends she should have stayed at Iowa for another year and capitalized on that hype. I said she made the right call by going out now, not risking injury, and seeing what happens in the WNBA. Well, it's very clear to see her potential impact very early in this WNBA season. We're not even to the regular season. They're already talking about getting charter flights for all the teams. They're already talking about more ticket sales across the entire league this year than they've ever had. And if Caitlin Clark keeps doing what people expect, it's going to have an impact in a positive way for that league. And that's good to see for basketball in general. I can't say I agree with everything that the members of the league have done in the last 5 years. By all means, I probably would say I don't agree with a lot of the stuff they've done. But Caitlin Clark is good for the league. And I think she did make the right call by going into the WNBA, because when you're selling out WNBA arenas, you could have sold out Iowa arenas easily. You could have sold out college arenas easily. But selling out WNBA arenas, that takes a lot. And that's not easy to do. And if she can keep that hype going, it's great to see her in I don't want to say my hometown because I didn't grow up here, but in my home city, right down the street from my work. And the two people on that building that'll hopefully be on there for the next 10 years are Caitlin Clark and Tyrese Halliburton. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely fantastic for the city. and for the league. And so that's my final word on Caitlin Clark. Love it or hate it.
The women in the WNBA should be excited because it's going to benefit them all in the long run if this goes well. Just for, I mean, you just said it. Charter flights. Now they're going to go to private. That's one benefit. Salary should go up. I've seen this at a smaller scale within the disc golf world. Most of the people watching here probably don't even know what disc golf is, but we've talked about it in the past. And as disc golf progressed, and Paul McBeth and Ricky Wysocki got paid $1 million contracts a year, the rest of the players were elevated up with bigger contracts, bigger purses, and they went from living in their cars and eating ramen noodles to be able to stay in some hotel rooms and stay on the road and make some actual money. And she's going to pull them up. The advertising,
100%. The advertising revenue will come. The endorsements will come. Maybe for her at first, and everybody be a little bit of jealousy. But I think a rising tide here will lift all boats. If you're getting charter flights for the league, and they get the TV package and the Indiana Fever games, and you just never know. Maybe there'll be a rivalry between her and Sabrina Ionescu or something like that, and it'll be like must-see TV, like Jordan and Reggie Miller back in the day, and it'll be like you got to watch that game. Like it'll be great, right? Yeah. These two will be going back and forth, just shooting threes, like Curry and LeBron, or stuff like that. That would be awesome to see, and I think that will have an impact in a positive way for the league and for the cities involved. And you might even see eventually, not trying to get too far ahead of myself, you might even see league expansion a little bit into the future if they can continue that momentum and more college athletes become like Caitlin Clark. Because the last thing that I remember about basketball was a guy by the name of Steph Curry went to a college in Davidson in North Carolina and started to shoot threes, and people said they'll never translate to the NBA. Well, what do you see in the NBA now? Shooting threes. That is the game right now, right? Dude. It's all about the metrics. It's all about the long shot. And Steph Curry changed the game, and there's so many players coming up now that wanted to emulate Steph Curry. There are going to be young girls that are probably in high school and middle school. They're going to want to emulate Caitlin Clark, and you're going to see a huge crop of those type of players get in the WNBA in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, for sure. I've been away from the high school basketball game for about 10 years now. I used to coach freshman boys basketball, and I went to some of my nephew's games this year, 2 different areas, one in Central Illinois, one up in Milwaukee. And the shooting from these players from long range is ridiculous. Dude, every kid on the floor can do it. It's crazy. Like, it was 10 years ago when I was coaching, it was not like that. And I saw some pretty good basketball. And it will change the girls' sport. Just from, the social media part that's another part of this. The social media part's crazy because people see it every day, which is really cool too. Yeah,
and I think it's great. I think it's my sister. I go back to what I witnessed firsthand. They're not even basketball fans. My sister and her husband, I know they're not basketball fans. Every Iowa game that was on during that tournament when we were on vacation, they had to watch it no matter where we were. Yeah. They're like, Caitlin Clark's playing. We got to watch that game. Yeah. And that was must-see TV for them.
Yeah. Even though I didn't like it, I understand why the NFL was doing it this year. When Taylor Swift was at all the Chiefs games, it's kind of like that effect. Taylor Swift's this phenomenon right now, and you have all these people watching football for the first time because Taylor Swift's at the game.
Yeah, 100%. You don't get 18,000 people. I think they had some no-shows, but you don't get 18,000 tickets sold for a WNBA game because it's the Fever. They're there to see one person, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool, and I'm excited to see what happens here this season.
I pulled up her I just went and typed in Bowman University Caitlin Clark cards and just looking to see the sales. 2 of her first rotted together, 36 plus bids. Her another one, 1111. That's just the base card. You know, her base rookie card selling for 10 to 15 bucks. Refractors, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, there's a lot of good sales here. You're like, wow, man. Wait until she gets some more product coming out. You know, the pro product.
Sure. And the Fever jerseys actually has a nice color combo. It's like a bright yellow and navy blue with I think they got Salesforce or something like that on the jersey and Gainbridge. It's a nice color combo. They look nice.
Do you know if she got money from her jerseys?
She signed a deal with Gainbridge. Which is a local investment annuities company in Zionsville. She had a deal with them, and I think they're on the field house, but they're also on the jersey, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then
I was wondering if she got a cut of all those jerseys that were sold, because she's broken multiple record of jersey sales.
I don't know about that, but I would say that I know she got a Nike deal. I mean, everybody knows that.
Oh, dude. Do you know how much she got paid for that? $28 million from Nike. I wonder how long that was.
I think it was 8 years, I want to say. I think it was 8 years.
Pretty impressive.
That's decent it's nothing to scoff at. It's not Tiger Woods, but still.
I'll sign a lifelong contract for half that.
Yeah. David O makes a good comment. We didn't really focus a lot on the chat. Thanks for the chat chats that came in. We need a moderator that can fly through these chats when we're chatting. But David O makes a point talking about WNBA Prism might start flying off the shelves like Optic Football. And it's true. I don't think they're going to stay on the shelves very long when you're chasing a Caitlin Clark rookie auto, because she actually has autos in the product.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did we do Batter Up talking about the Topps Chrome unlicensed basketball and football cards this year? I can't remember if we did or not.
We did. Last episode we talked about.
We talked about that last episode. I couldn't remember.
Somebody put that in the chat, asked if I was going to buy it. You know what? I would like to, but the price on that product's going to be freaking insane.
Price has to be right. I might dabble in just a couple because I want to see what it's all about. But you know what you're going to expect. You're going to expect a Panini type baseball product, but it's chrome. You're going to get optic baseball for the last couple of years. It's going to be the backs of the jerseys, and it'll be a little bit of a boring product, but the autos might be cool, especially if they're on card. They have to be well done, but you might just want to wait it out for the actual licensed product. And if you can get the right price on your favorite player, not chase it right away, but just get the right price on your favorite player, there's no harm in buying that.
Dude, if Bowman hobby boxes are $275,
what do you think basketball is going to be?
Chrome basketball is going to be more expensive than that.
Maybe $499 or something.
I was thinking $500. Maybe they'll come out and surprise me, but I was thinking $500 for a hobby box of Chrome basketball. Unless they make just a crap ton of it and they can bring the price down, but
yeah.
I can't believe we are a month away. June 12th, Series 2 comes out. 1 month. I know Bowman just came out, but I looked at the calendar today going, man, when is Series 2 coming out? June 12th. That's an eternity. Another month.
We don't have a checklist yet, do we?
No checklist. And seems like they've been waiting for a week before to put those out, which is super annoying.
They already know who's in the product because
I know.
I think they're already printing it. So my guess would be anybody that was called up before opening day, right? So you'd have Jackson Chorio, you'd have Wyatt Langford. Most likely those guys are going to be in Series 2. I
would think so. Yamamoto,
not a good call because he's already in the Bowman product. And
Shoto from the Cubbies, I would think. Maybe Pete Armstrong. Some of the guys you see in then again, Shoto might not be. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. One thing I didn't think about, I just thought about it as I was rambling here. Always a good tell for who's in Series 2 is to go to the Bowman rookies or the Heritage product and see which rookies aren't in Series 1 that are in those products. Those are oftentimes in Series 2. And so I'm sure we can go to that list. Jackson Chorio, I don't think is in the Bowman product, correct? I don't think he has a rookie card in the Bowman product.
I don't think so. I didn't see it.
But it doesn't mean he won't be in Series 2, but he may not be in Series 2 for sure.
Yeah, and I didn't open any archives, so I'd have to really he's not in archives.
Yeah,
At least Heritage, I don't think so.
I think Heritage only had like one or two more players than Series 1 did. So there's a couple other, like, who was the guy from the Rays? Junior Caminero or something like that? I think he was in that product. And he should be in Series 2.
Yeah, because he had autos. He got a Chorio. K Card said he got a Chorio and Bowman, so he might be in Series 2.
I think those Series 2 should be pretty good, and updates should be good this year.
Yeah.
If the price is right and the print run didn't go crazy, and we know updates print run's always less than everything else, I would love to chase more update like I did a couple years ago. We all would. But again, I think we have to just wait and see.
Yeah. I will probably open a case of either hangers or a case of hobby. I'm going to open up a fair share of flagship this year with this rookie class. I don't think I'm going to go total ham, but I'm going to open up a decent amount. I enjoyed Series 1. I opened up those 78 hanger boxes. That's all I opened in Series 1. And that was $10 a box, $780. I would love to do that again.
I opened one mega box and I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
No. I mean, I kind of like
any LE cards from Series 1 at all. I didn't open any Fanatics blasters, no hangers, no fat packs, one mega box, no blasters, no hobby, no nothing. One mega box from Barnes & Noble that I got on my discount for, I forget what it was, $41. And I got 3 decent cards and I sold them and I made my money back. And I'm happy.
Yeah, it's Series 1 wasn't that great. Just a couple guys, but man, Series 2 is looking fun. Chrome's looking fun. Updates looking awesome. End of the year, this has been a weird year with the releases. And
it has been, yeah. As the year goes on, I think it'll get better. I think Bowman Sapphire, keep an eye out for that. It's always good to buy. Last year they did the Dutch oven, the Dutch auction, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully they don't do that again. But I think that's always one you buy confidently, and it always, like you always say, it's Sapphire. Don't get cute. Just buy it. Buy your allocation. Buy your 1 or 2 boxes, and just go with it. You're gonna do pretty well on that, no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll get better throughout the year as far as releases go. I want to talk about one last thing. It's the month of May. It's Indiana. I'm going to ramble a little bit about IndyCar, and I'm going to do it at your expense, Brett, because I talked to someone yesterday via chat, and I asked them, is it okay if my friend likes NASCAR and IndyCar at the same time? And he said, all motorsports are worth liking. If you like one, you should like them all. Who was I talking to, Brett?
I don't know. Who would you have been talking to?
I was talking to none other than Connor Daly.
Whoa, that's sick.
And he said, it's okay if you like IndyCar. It is okay. NASCAR, it won't be that you're leaving your girlfriend of NASCAR and coming over to it. It's okay to like both.
Dude,
if Connor Daly says it's okay, it's got to be okay, Brett.
Because I watch the Indianapolis race every year. I watch Indy every year. I've been to some local dirt track sprint car races. I love it. I think it's been a while since I've been to those. For some reason, I just love NASCAR, going to the smells of that. But I guess it's because I've had easier accessibility to NASCAR. where I've gone to the Chicagoland Speedway. I lived in Houston for a couple of years, went to Dallas. I've driven over to Michigan because of a friend, and I don't know why I haven't gone to IndyCar.
Well, there's 3 IndyCar races just to the north of you. I know you're in Illinois and you probably don't like Wisconsin very much, but there are 2 races at Milwaukee and there's 1 at Road America this year. It's a chance. And then you can come and stay with me. We can go to the 500. We can go to the qualifying weekend. You make the call. I promise you, you will have a great time. But one last thing that'll leave you with about IndyCar. One of the most crazy things that I have ever seen in the history of racing happened last weekend. If you have not, in this chat, there's only 39 people watching, but if you've not seen the clip of the mannequin falling off the bridge at the Barber Motorsports Park race 2 weeks ago, go watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. I felt bad for the mannequin. Her hand got cut off by a tire. A car came along and ripped her hand off. But yeah, it is it's fantastic. It is hilarious. The commentary on it was great. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's funny. And the Parkside card product that I was opening so much of, I have a season pass for the basically what amounts to Parkside's version of Tops Now, and they have her name was Georgina. They have a Georgina card in this week's set coming to me very soon. I might get it autographed by the person that cut the hand off the mannequin.
Dude, that was crazy to see.
It was crazy. Can you imagine if that would have happened on the track?
Glad it did. I know. I'm glad it didn't
damage.
run it over or hit somebody on the head. I mean, that would have been bad, but I've never seen it like that. And
if you haven't seen Georgina fall off the bridge and stick the landing, go watch it. Hilarious.
While we're finishing up on IndyCar, I had my guy over to buy some cards.
Mm-hmm.
My guy he'll buy anything. And we sat down, and the first thing I brought to him was all that IndyCar. I said, hey, check this out. He's like, And I'm like, let me show you some stuff. So we pulled up eBay, and I start just scrolling through the sales and showing him. And he was like, holy crap. And then I start pulling out some autos and showing him. He's like, dang. He's like, I can't believe these prices. And they're all, like, it's one thing if there's only 1 or 2 sales, but he's seeing lots of consistent sales and complete sets, $30 to $50 for 162 card complete sets. That IndyCar product for the price is pretty unbelievable. And I was considering going and getting like a hobby case this time. Do they sell any hobby cases on their website?
You'd have to reach out to them. I know they sell the individual boxes, but there may be a way to get a case. And I always thought the hobby boxes were really good. Yeah. Many of them had 3 autos per box and at least 4 to 6 numbered cards. They were loaded. I also saw recently that some grading reveals came in. I was not first to market on the IndyCar grading. Apparently some people have already beat me to it, and there's some pretty solid sales and some pretty solid grades on some of the cards that came back from people who have graded already. And I think it's intriguing to see what will happen with the 500. I was going to also close on Alex Palou. He won the pole today for the race tomorrow. I will have a betting video on my channel tomorrow. I will probably wait until after the warm-up in the morning. I usually like to wait till final warm-up to kind of see where people are on tire strategy and get a sense for who could be fast. And I try to pick my drivers that I think could win the race. And Palou, if he wins the 500, he's like the Max Verstappen right now of IndyCar. Yeah. He's on the cusp of just dominating. And he should have won Barber. He could have won Long Beach. And he did win in Thermal. and now he's on the pole for a race he dominated last year, and he won the pole for the Indy 500 last year. I think he's going to win the 500 this year. I think it's a very good chance that Palou wins the 500. He should have won it last year because he got taken out by Rinus VeeKay in the pits and then ended up finishing 4th when he was all the way down in 28th. And he battled back. He's got a really, really fast car and a great team. And I think Palou, I have 57 Palou rookies from all the product I've opened that are extras in addition to the sets I've made. And I just hope he ends up being like Ant-Man.
Dude, I told my guy, I said, look, man, I said, the Super Bowl of motorsports is coming up. And I said, whoever wins this, you can't guarantee this. He knows. I said, but some of these cards, if somebody wins this, you could pull them all out and sell these singles and make some true money. And I packaged a bunch of stuff up with some of my slabs and made a great sale that weekend. But he was blown away. Like, for somebody who hadn't seen the product, hadn't heard of the product, he's like, dang, there's a lot of sales. And he's like, I'll buy it all.
One of the things that actually has the strongest sales in that product, it's the actual the weekly pack that you can only get.
Yeah.
Season member. The print run on those are extremely low so far. Like, first week was 159, second was 177, 280, and 208. Like, think about this. If you get the Joseph Newgarden won the race, but then he didn't win the race, there's only 159 of those. And he got the race win taken away from him in a technicality on the push to pass controversy. Won't get into that. But those sales on that product, on the Pronto, they call it Parkside Pronto, it's extremely strong. Like, single cards are selling for the entire price of the week. Like $9 to $10 for a single card. If you want the Newgarden cards, like $25. And I'm going to make the whole set. I think that set someday, I almost thought about getting the entire set autographed. I don't want to foul the cards up, but autographs in IndyCar are not that hard to get. But if I got the entire base set autographed, can you imagine how cool that would be?
Dude, that'd be really cool. Kind of reminds me of the Topps Living set when it came out early, and people didn't really know about it, and they missed a couple of the dudes, and they were really rare print runs.
Yeah.
And then the complete set was worth a bunch, but that is sick, man.
Yeah, no, it's a fun product. I think I'm done ripping it for now. I don't have any on hand, and they don't have any hanger cases left on the website, so I'm set for now, and I'm just going to keep selling through what I have and get my grading order back and see how I do. And I'm definitely going to keep a lot to PC. I've got some really, really cool stuff that I'm going to keep. And I've made the complete master set for myself. Probably have a couple of them left. And it's the month of May. You never know what can happen. So
you gave me an idea to reach out to Parkside and say, hey, you got sealed cases? Can I get them for $75 a box? I'll buy a couple cases. Would you do that?
I think I would consider doing that, because Indy Card Exchange right now is selling the hobby boxes for the same price as the Parkside website.
$90.
My guess would be they got them for a better price than the general public, and they bought them in bulk. And so maybe there is a way to get them if you buy 10 of them for $75 a piece.
Man. And then to finish off with NASCAR, that finish on Sunday was incredible. The closest finish ever, .001. I actually didn't think Larson won it, and he won it. I forgot who finished second. And wow, what a finish.
And Larson's going to be in this year's 500.
Yeah, dude, that dude can run. It's interesting what he'll do.
He has a chance. He could be like Alonso back a couple years ago, where Fernando Alonso came over and he was really competitive right away. He's on a good team. Chevy has a decent motor for the 500. They won the 500 last year with Newgarden. And so he's on McLaren. He's a fourth driver for McLaren, and they've struggled a little bit this year. They haven't had the greatest of luck when it comes to some of the races, but it's the 500. Anything can happen, and I do think I give Kyle Larson a shot. I think he could win the race.
Yeah, it'll be a nice story. I'm looking forward to that. But we've been going a pretty decent amount of time here. It looks like an hour and 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Trevor, for tuning in. What a great night. Thanks
for all the chat. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. And until next time, Brett.
Peace.
Enjoy basketball.